Welcome to the new month. Hope you guys are fine. It's your boy, your mix writer again. Before I go into what I have for you guys this week, I want just to apologize real quick for being away for this past month. Yes, I've been busy trying to figure out what I want to do with my powers and my real estate business. So I need to concentrate on that and meet a lot of people. So whenever I get back home, I'm always tired. So I am so much grateful for every one of you trying to get in touch with me. I got a lot of messages, that I couldn't reply. I'm so sorry for that. So yeah, I'm again. So what if we're ready to carry peeps, ready to go back into this game? Okay. With that being said, let's get straight to what I have for you guys this week. Okay, one of my work lists, I'm just gonna make sure I'm gonna talk about just 3 to 4 pairs. Then probably tomorrow I'm gonna have a live call with every one of us. Then we can actually do some kind of interactive chat, talk tomorrow night. Probably that's gonna be Tuesday night. Okay, without me saying, let's get straight to the real game. The very first play I want to talk about is DXY. What I got on DXY before I left back then. Okay, I hope you guys remember that I said DXY on the weekly time frame. That we're looking at for a big time sell on DXY on the weekly time frame. I made mention of that DXY looks to sell on the weekly time frame. The last time I talked about that, you can go back and watch my recording I gave out on DXY. Why did I say that? I said we got this movement all the way to the downside. If you play the flip from this point back into this low, we saw what market did around this area, which is about a 10.6 flip level, and back into an institutional or the block around this area. So we got what we were talking about DXY pulling all the way down, even back into this region, into this support area that we can see what influence they got in the past. So that was what we said. The last time we talked about DXY. And also I remember that I was talking about DXY pulling up, at least retesting a certain level around this area. I think I made mention of an area right here, whereby I was talking about we getting some kind of push up back into some level. I think this was one was here, then I got 1 year also. That I was talking about, if you can get a push back into this area, then we're gonna look out for more sell right there. But unfortunately, we are unable to get price back into this area before the SY decide to shift all the way down. The breakout is low that we have right here, the brown area. Breakout is low, then come all the way back into this area. So what I want to talk about now is that when you see the XY at the current place that we have, what does this current support area looks like to you? If you go back to see what the support area DXY is actually bouncing up, we can see we got price influence back in the past around this area. We got something right here also. We got some kind of manipulation right here. We got price break above, give us a slight retest, then pushed up. Then we can see what price is going again. Price bounced up is last week, and we can see that price is trying to respect it. Okay, now let's try to play the free from this system, from these symbols that we have from here to this upside, because that actually looks like a nice impulse. Maybe price wants to continue the uptrend right there. Okay, we can actually see this is the 618 region that price is actually respecting with this support area. The second conference that price can actually push up from that area. Now let's try checking the second and third one and see we get some kind of trend line right here. 1, 2. Then price might actually be respecting it right there to push to the upside. You don't want to forget that we don't trade the XY. All we do is what we try to see what the XY does to determine what other foreign currency pairs can actually be doing. Talking about the fiber, the cable, the Aussie, the Kiwis. We're talking about all those ones, and we're gonna determine what it might likely to do based on what the XY is actually telling us. So right here we can see what the XY is trying to do. This one is trying to do what? It's trying to respect this resistance. Back here we can see some kind of institutional busy area, full institutional busy area right here. We can see what they got right here. These are the footprint of our institutions. Price is respecting the 618, close to the trend line. Maybe we can get something like this. Maybe price can give us something like this again before they can actually push to the upside. Okay, so what am I going to be looking at on the XY? I'm never going to see if price can push a little bit back down to this region and give me a slight push up back into this level before we continue our sell to the downside. So I want to see price retest this area before we continue our sell to the downside. We got this we got this low being breached. This low was being breached. So I want to see price push back into that low, push back into this area before we get more sell to the downside. So likely maybe if price want to come back a little bit, so something like this is what I'm expecting before price eventually come back into this support area, which I think they definitely want to do. So if you go back to the 2-hour time frame or maybe 4-hour, we can actually see what price is doing right there. So I would say if price come back down into this area, there's high chance of we buying all the way back into this area. So which is going to mean if price a little bit deep more to the downside, there's high chance for what? There's high chance for if we get something like this, price come back a little bit back down, then push to the upside. There's that sign for EURUSD coming down, cable coming down also, Aussie coming down a little bit before they actually continue their uptrend move. So that's what I got for DXY. So on DXY, I want to see a slight push down back into this area a little bit, just something like a little bit, back into somewhere right here, then pushed up into this region before the sell eventually continue their moves. So that is for DXY. The next one I'm going to talk about is going to be EURUSD. Okay, now on EURUSD, there's one thing I want you guys to remember. When we were talking about EURUSD back in the days, we all know when EURUSD was compressing and we were talking about the 1.08 region, we're talking about the 1.0750 region, we're talking about those regions for a nice push up. How many of us are able to catch that long? I caught part of it, but I was unable to catch the whole long because I was busy. So you want to remember what we were talking about when this whole price movement was happening. You want to remember that we were talking about this is a compression to the downside. That price is going to breach out of the compression and move to the upside. Now we're talking about this gap to be filled. Price came back into fill this gap and eventually make their way back to the upside. You don't want to forget that. So a lot of my guys was able to be in this long trend to the upside, but eventually I don't know if they are out on yet, if they're still in. So what is EURUSD doing at this point in time? You can actually see what they're doing. This is a resistance that we're respecting. Same thing that what DXY is actually doing is what we got this pair doing at this present point in time. So what is that? We can see this resistance, a very good, nice resistance that price is actually respecting, a nice institutional area around that point also. So we want to see if price is going to respect this resistance. And how do we look at that? We want to see daily candle close of price right below this region before we can actually look out for more sell to downside. So should in case we get the daily candle close, where are we going to be targeting? We're going to be targeting this previous area for a nice retest of this. This was a nice retest. This was a nice resistance that turns to support right now. So there's high chance that price can come back into respect this area before we can actually see more push to the upside. So if we have that in mind, that price can come back into this area, we gotta go into the smaller time frame to see some kind of candlestick pattern that we needed for them to perform right here before we look out for that sell into this area. Then we can actually talk about the buy when price gets back into this region. So now what I'm going to look out for now, I'm going to go to the daily time frame. Or before that, let me just try to place a fib from here to the downside just to see what fib level price is respecting right here. So I'm going to place a fib right from here, bring it all the way to the downside. Boom. I can see we got a nice 618 region of this last impulse to the downside. There was a nice 618 right here. This was an impulse to the downside, and we can get a nice 618, and at this point there's a high chance that price can come back into this 38.2 and give us a nice 70.6 or probably the 88.6 fib level to be tested. So that's one thing I want you guys to understand, that if price respect a nice fib level, there's a high chance of them pushing back into a mini fib, which is the 38.2, which acts also as a nice support right here. So I'm going to go to the daily time frame just to see what's up. So on the daily time frame, this is the resistance. This is the resistance we're looking at. I want to see daily close right into this region. With this candlestick, I want it to close right below this for me to determine the sell back into this region. So what am I looking at for? I want to see something like this, a nice slight push up back into this region, then the sell back into that. So simple as that. I don't want to waste time on this. That is what I'm looking at for. So on the 4-hour time frame, we can actually anticipate what price movement back into the upside. Probably want to place a fib on this last impulse that I caught last week. Place a fib right here. Boom, boom, bring it all the way to the downside. Watch out for the 618 in case price pushed up right there. Something like this is highly expected. Then you get the sell back into this area. So we want to see price pushed up a little bit back. Price might not eventually pushed up, but if you get a nice pushed up back into that area, you want to sell and bring it all the way back into the downside. That is for DXY. That is for USD. EURUSD. The next one I want to talk about is what the pound. So what does the pound really look like? Same thing as I was looking at on EURUSD. So on the pound movement, you want to see something. This is what we got on the pound movement. If you guys remember the last talk we had on this, whereby I was placing a fib right from here, and I brought it all the way back into this region. This was the nice 618 right there, and you guys want to see this is the target I mentioned. Our price eventually breached above the target back into this busy area that we have on an institutional footprint right there. This was where the order was filled back there. So price came all the way back into this area to give us a nice, I think they were about a 50% threshold, and it came all the way back into that area. We can actually anticipate some drop coming right there. So I will say we were going to get some kind of drop forming around this area to bring price back into downside. So to cut the long story short, on this one, I want to see sell coming up. I really like the candlestick that I got right here. This doji, I like it so much. So I just want to see a little bit pushed back into half of this candlestick pattern on a smaller time frame before price come back into the downside. Where am I target? I'm targeting this mitigation area. We can actually see there's a nice mitigation that might actually occur right here. So I want to see if price is going to come back into this region for some kind of mitigation flow. So if price make the nice sell right there, I will be targeting this area before price eventually make and then move to the upside. So what are my confluence? What are my confluence I have for this trade? The very first one is this nice footprint that we got right here. The second one confluence I have is an ABCD pattern. If from this point I got this ABCD pattern right here, the length of this to this AB, we gotta see right there. We gotta mark and move back into what the 1.114 fib area, which is what a nice extended ABCD pattern that we got. Let me just check it out. Where is 1.114? I'm looking about the 1.114 area. Or maybe I should just take this. Okay. So right there, this is the 1.114 area that I can see right there. So I really like this ABCD pattern to play out, and eventually you can actually see ABCD pattern can come all the way back into the 618 of these long impulse that we had right there. So we're gonna say AB from here to here. We might be targeting the 618 right here. This is gonna be my target should in case price decide to continue that move to the downside. This is going to be my target. This area is going to be my target. So for this move, I want to see price come all the way to the downside, because this is what I have right there. I got a nice ABC pattern right there. I got what a nice footprint of institution right there, and I got some kind of other confluence. Let me just try to check out, see what other confluence that I might be looking at on this one. So talking about that, I can place a line on this. I can say we got this. Yes. So we looking out for sell on the pound USD. I'm looking out for sell on pound USD, bringing the pair all the way to the downside. So pound USD, I'm looking at for sell. Euro USD, I'm looking at for sell. DXY, I'm looking at for pull up on DXY. The last one I want to talk about, let me just try to see something before I talk about the last one. Yes, I got a nice resistant area also, backing up forward. They sell on this one. I got a nice resistance. So on pound USD, once again, I'm looking at for sell. And also, I think I got another confluence which I'm trying to have my eye on. If I place a fib on this, bring it all the way to this area, I can see, I don't want this to be messed up, take it out. So if I place a fib from this area, I'm bringing it all the way back into this area, I can see 38.2, then 1.113 right there. So if I bring it all the way back down, I might be looking at for 1.272, 1.1618. Let's try to check out the fib of 1.1618, which is the golden fib, right? I'm trying to figure out if I can get an harmonic right there. Fine, perfect. That was a nice harmonic pattern, extended sharp pattern. You can see. So this is what from the fib right here. This is the golden fib here, fib confluence. So there's, you can see, I think you got a fib right there, and they're gonna limit right there. It's just gonna smash it, then price is gonna move away from that limit. So this is the harmonic pattern we had. 1, 2, 3, 4, and extended. So right there, another confluence for what? For the sell on pound USD. Okay, the last pair I'm going to talk about is going to be NZD card. What does it look like on NZD card? I was so interested in this pair before I went on leave. So now I came back just to see what the pair is actually doing right now. I'm looking at a big time sell on this also, but before that, I want to see if price can come back into this resistance right here. I'm talking about this area. I'm talking about the 0.925 0 area. I want to see if price can come back into these highs before they give me some kind of nice setup. And you want to see there's a nice formation of coin around this area also place the fib all the way back from here to here, you can see we got a nice 50 fib right there. Then we got 0.13. Then if you bring the fib back into this C point, you can be targeting the 1.113 area, which is right here. You can be targeting this area, should in case price come back into that point for a big time sell. So that's the harmonic trying to form on these. But what am I looking at on this? That I try to place a fib from this movement, bring it all the way back into this area. I want to see which fib area happens to fall right there. So bring a fib back here, bring it all the way down here. What do I have? A nice 70.6 area. I'm getting a nice candlestick pattern trying to form. So on this, we might get some kind of sell coming up this week or next week on this pair. If price does not move all the way back in that area, there's a chance of price dropping right from where they are. So this is on the weekly time frame. When you check the weekly time frame, what does it look like? You can actually see this is a nice resistance also trying to form. Price is trying to respect the nice resistance. We got a nice additional footprint right there. So I want to see if price candlestick cannot close below this. If they keep closing below this, there's that chance of it coming all the way to the downside. So we're gonna be on the daily time frame right now just to see what's up. So on the daily time frame, we can see what price is actually doing with compression right there. We're consolidating right here, trying to form some kind of what Wyckoff theory or some kind of accumulation distribution for a nice sell right there. I can say we get something like this. Right there, price movement, bring it all the way back into somewhere right here. So I'm looking at a sell on these also. I'm interested in sell on these also. I want to see what price is going to do. Let me just take the razor. I want to see what price is going to do right below this resistance that I have right there. So below this resistance that I have, I want to see what price is going to do. Something like this I'm talking about. Something like this, should in case price come back into the region right there. Then bring it all the way to the downside. This was a whole rejection candle. We rejected this long opportunity that we got right there. So we must see something like the pushed up a little bit, then price continue their way back into the downside. Or price close below this, then give us a nice sell of right there. So you guys want to be on the outlook. You want to watch out for what price is going to do right there. I'm trying to play some kind of trend line and see what price is going to do around those areas for a nice setup. That's another one I can show you. So there's another break and it's trying to form right there for a nice setup. So what are my watch lists? NZD card I'm looking at for sell. EURUSD I'm looking at for sell. Pound USD I'm looking at for sell. There's what I'm looking at for a pushed up. Okay, with that being said, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up for today. I'm gonna see you guys Tuesday night to do some kind of interactive talk chat and check other currency pairs to see what they're likely gonna do. I don't want you guys to forget something, which is this is not a signal. This is just my bias on the market. So I want you guys to try and look at it and compare it to what you have. If they match out to what you have, you can take the trade. If not, you can just go on your own personal bias. Okay, with that being said, once again, I love you guys. I'm gonna see you guys today night. Have a wonderful trading week this week and see you guys later. Bye bye.